Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another class. Let me check if the sound is fine. Hello, testing. Hello, good night. I hope everything is fine. Hello everybody. Okay, I hope everything is great for you today. And I am start a little bit late today. I will do the recording every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but not at the same time because sometimes I get busy for other things. And I know that most of people will watch like after the live. If one day we have enough people join online, I will be more punctual. But okay, let's go here. In the 2-day class, we will learn very basic but very important things. Is comparison and logical operations or operators. So remember what I said. We're not going to learn a lot of things, but wherever we learn must be very well understand, must be clear. Of course, we're gonna use this a lot after this class today. We'll have several practices. So you'll see there is a file here read with exercise that you should try to do offline, and then we're gonna solve during the class. So I want to make sure that you all had the opportunity to practice what we learned so far in a way that you can assimilate it and retain the knowledge that is going to need to move forward. So for now, let's just close this and let's go to our file. So I already created those two files, 11 and 12, and I already updated the program to run this first one. I can even maybe put here already the next one to run, logic-operator.run, but I will keep it comment. So I just did on comment later on. Okay, and for now, our file is empty. There is nothing there. The only thing I did is put this URL because I like to offer reference for the official documentation for Microsoft where you can learn about it. So wherever in the class that I don't cover after the class, it's nice to take a read about it. So I don't think it's a great material for whoever is learning without this help to understand explanation, but to remember or to go deeper or to maybe refresh your mind, it's good to have those. So this is the kind of operation that we all know. So how do we compare things? In real world, we can compare things many different ways. But in code, basically we have those, oh, let me open the URL, oh, I close it, let me open again. We will do the comparison using those symbols. Less than, greater than, less or equal, greater or equal. So those are the most basic ones that we will do. So there is nothing else that I should explain because this we all know already. A number can be greater than another one. A number can be greater or equal, depends what you need. For example, imagine the grade to pass is 7. Is 7 or greater. So if you have 7, you're gonna pass. Maybe the grade to pass should be greater than 7. That means 7 is not enough. So all depends of the problem, the business, what is needed. So just remember that when we are coding, we are always solving a problem for someone, and most of the time we don't own the solution. We have to follow some rules, we have to follow some documentation, we have to follow some specification. And part of our job as a software engineer is to understand the business, the need, so we can implement a program that can follow those rules. So what we're doing here, we gonna see those. Let me put this like as a multi-line comment. So we have smaller than, greater than, greater or smaller or equal, greater or equal. Remember, is or has to be equal or greater or equal. How do you use this? So we can declare like some variables here. So let's put int number 1 we can read this, so we can do a int dot parse. We already learned how to do this, and then console dot read line. We all know what this is doing. It's going to allow the user to type something in the keyboard, and we're going to retrieve that as a string, and then we're going to convert to an integer. So it's a good practice to allow the user to know what is going on. So you can do a write here, or just a write, and then put a number 1. We can do a copy and paste, and for sure you're going to do a lot of mistakes in the filter doing that, but we still do it. So this will be number 1, then number 2. So now what we can do with this? We could, for example, print this console write line, and then number 1, number 1 greater than number 2. Or let's keep just 1 now, and let's see what is going on. We're gonna have to. So let me. I'm gonna just put a breakpoint here, and you run. So every time you run, our user will be able to provide 2 different numbers, and that expression may change. So let's wait a little bit. We are here. Let's put like 5 and then 2. So we are here. So number 1 is 5. Number 2 is 2. Let's expand this local so we can see the 2 variables, and let's see what is the result. That is an important thing to understand. The result of a comparison is a logical value. It's true or false. I can do some interpolation here to make this better to see. So let's put a string here. Whoa, the cats are going wide there. Where I want to do this, I will print this string plus the expression number 1 greater than number 2. And now I will do the same with the other comparison. Greater or equal. So greater or equal. So you should understand what is going on here. I want to print this string arrays, this context here. So this is static content, and this is part of the comparison. So this will be true or false, and this will be exactly what is in there. So let's do some more like this, and then I'll say less than. So here we less than, and then less or equal. I'll keep the breakpoint there, and let's do this and F5. So let's do the same. 5, oh, sorry, I have to, not there, here. 5 and 2. So this, of course, will be true because 5 is greater than 2. But remember, this is just the string that you see here in the output. This is the expression. Let me remove this from the watch, and let me add this. If I right click and do add watch, where is add watch here? Add watch. I can see the result of the expression here. If I do the same for this one, greater or equal, what do you guys think is going to be? 5 is greater or equal than 2? Yes. And then number 1 is smaller than number 2. 5 is smaller than 2? No. So this will be false. 5 is smaller or equal than 2? No. So if I add this there, I can see a red what will be printed. So it'll be like true, true, false, and false. If I run again, and I put the numbers 2 and 11. What is going to happen? 2 is greater than 11? No. So this is going to be false. It's already there. See? False. False. 2 is smaller than 11? Yes. So it will be true and true. So there is no secret here. I guess there is nothing complicated here. And let's try now with equal numbers to see what is going to happen. So if we run again, and let's put like 4 and 4. So what happened? 4 is greater than 4? No, so it's false because they are equal. Is 4 greater or equal than 4? Yes, so this will be true. 4 is smaller than 4? No, it is equal. 4 is smaller or equal of 4? Yes, then we have this. Right now, this maybe make no much sense, but later on, we will use those operations to decide what flow our program should follow. And this is the big part of programming, like coding, is we're going to create a solution that based on the input, we can take different routes or different paths to do the next step. A big part of our training here will be prepare our mind to given one problem, identify the algorithm. What is the recipe that we should use to solve that problem? Okay, so we're going to have a lot of practice for this. So right now, what I want to understand is we can compare things and we use this operator. Cool? Okay. Now let's go to the next example. So I will save this guy, I close here, and then I will comment this and uncomment this. So then we're gonna run this other guy here. That right now there is nothing there, just the URL, and let's make a multi-line comment as well. So those are the logical operators. So let me open this link. This is a little bit more complicated. There is one thing that has to be clear, but basically the operation are and, or, and not. Not is the negative. And or are used to combine relations. Because in the first example, we saw something like this. One number greater than other. But what if we need to combine some composition of relation? Then we will need to use those operations. So in plain English, it will be and, or not. How do we represent this in C#? And will be this, or will be this, and not will be this. This is how we do in real life. For example, imagine that we have a few conditions. The first condition is if my wife is busy and it's not raining, I go fishing. There are two conditions that I have to follow, and both has to be true. And I'm using and to connect. So when we use and as a logical operator, that means that each condition must be true. If my wife is not busy, I don't go fishing. But even if my wife is not busy, but it's raining, I don't go fishing as well. Well, in real life, I would go just because even fishing during the rain is nice. But that is the very important to understand. Difference between and or. And the result, I put this here. I will do this. And the result is true only if all the conditions are true. If one is false, is already false because I do this and this and this and this. If this first one is already false, we don't even look the other ones because we already know it's false. That is the difference from when we use just 1% or 2. We should never use this one. I never see there is only one case where we should use if the expression has a function and we want all the function to be called, but it's only the case. I could just say, okay, every time we want to use an AND operation, put double %. Every time we want to use OR, put a double vertical slash, vertical bar, I don't know. And not is just revert. If it's true, became false. If it's false, became true. Okay? So what I do here is, as I am not with a good imagination today to bring example for this, what I do is, okay, let's ask help to Copilot. I will ask here, please, not please, I learned that you should not be needed. Add some C# example to demonstrate the logic operation. The class didn't learn about if or repetition yet. Just add example using base operations. The next step, we learn a command called if, then we're gonna use more elaborate expression. But right now, let's see if we're gonna get some good example here. Otherwise, I'm gonna force my mind to demo this with good thing. Okay, it's loading, it's doing some work here. Sometimes the example are not good, sometimes they are. Let's see what is gonna come. This is the free version, so I guess that's why it's lower than normal. But let's see, I'll keep it. So what is happening here? See, number 1, number 2. So this example is, this is a Boolean variable. We already learned about it. And what we say is create a Boolean variable is greater. So this will be the number 1 is greater than number 2. Then we are create another condition that is equal. So then we're gonna do the composition instead of just one operation. But do you know, I didn't like this example. I didn't like this example. Try something more realistic. Realistic combine expression for a final result. Let's see what is gonna come. This example is okay. If you follow, you would understand. But I'm not too worried because this is something that we're going to explore a lot. So let's try this. So what is going on here? We have a variable called age, a variable called score, and the other one is has permission sleep. Now we are doing age is greater than 16, and that is nice. We are storing the result in a Boolean variable. So if this is true, this variable will be true. If this is false, this variable will be false. The score to pass, in this case, has to be greater or equal than 80. And is ready, we are checking both conditions. Is old enough and has passed the score. So basically, to be is ready, both conditions has to be true. The age has to be greater or equal than 16, and the score has to be greater than. So instead of just this, we could have just an expression with both. So like this, we could do is ready to. We could just combine all this. Look, age is greater than 16 and score is greater than 80. So what happened here is both result the same result, but this one we are reusing a condition, a logical result that we stored before. Please don't get confused with this. It's very simple. We just need to check a condition that depending on two relations. One, the age has to be greater than 16 and the score has to be greater than 80. Imagine that you want to apply for maybe drive license. Your score in the exam has to be greater than 80 and your age has to be greater or equal than 16. Greater and equal 80 and greater than equal 16. If we change this, means the person has to be at least 17. Cool? And here we are just printing those values. So you can, I will keep this example, it's a little bit better. So that is what I want to understand. So in this case, we are checking two conditions and both has to be true. What happened if we change this condition? I will copy this here. I will put just as a comment. I will call ready 3. And instead of and, we put or. This changed everything completely because now it's ready to, this result to be true if the person's age is greater or equal than 16 or if the score is greater than equal to 80. Probably is not what we want in this case, but maybe there is some other thing. For example, let me try one case here that I can. Imagine that we are doing a selection and we are doing this. If someone is above 300 pounds, you need to do some treatment. Or if the person is older than 80, need to do the same treatment. So one or other. If we put and, the person has to be 80 or over 300 pounds and over 80. So I guess I'm complicated, but you got it. Pretty sure this is something that we use in the real life and we're gonna practice a lot. We start for next class, we're gonna be doing this. So what you need to understand now is and means that the expression, all of them has to be true, because remember, we could have more expression here as well. There is no limit for how many relations we are checking. So as long as those expression is going to be translated to true or false, we can combine with logical operations. That's why it's called logical operation, because it's going to combine logical expressions or relations, okay? And if we are using or, that means just one being true, the result is true. It's only false if all are false. So let me go back here and update this because I didn't do it. Result is false only if all conditions are false. So in this case, we just need one false to make it false. In this case, we only need one true to make it true. And I will do this. Simplify the example and don't use logical variable to store each relation. Make them in a single expression to help understand the logical operation. Let's see if it's gonna. Oh, I have to remove this. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. Let's see. Well, let him have some trouble and fix it. Yeah, so look, this case now is interesting. This final result is true if those two are true and those are false, because look, not. So maybe this now complicate. Please, oh, add, use one example for and another for or. Don't combine all in just the first example. Let's see. This is good because we're going to start to feel how is to use AI. There is no magic. We need to be clear and we need to validate what's being produced. So let's see if now is better. So now it's kind of better. So see, we have, oh, let me tell him, you are back. Look, this is interesting. Initially, I told him to don't store. Well, now it's better because it's like can ride roller coaster. So you have to be, age should be greater or equal to 16 and has permission sleep. Can enter the club, age has to be greater than 18 and they score greater or equal than 90. And then we are printed. So, okay, I'm not going to complicate this, it's like that. And to be true, all the condition has to be true. If one is false, it's already false. And or just one being true is already true. And the good thing is that the computer is smart. If we have this and, is that why you call with this operator is called short circuit? Because as we have and here, if this expression is true, oh, sorry, if this expression is false, the computer does not even check the next one because he already knows, well, there is only two relations. The first one is already false, so I'm not going to check the other one because I already know the result will be false. If we use just one, that means there is no short circuit. We always going to evaluate this and evaluate this. The same thing here. Let me remove this. If we just have one vertical bar, that means we'll check this because remember, in OR, if this is true, the full expression is already true because we are doing OR. This, or this, or this, or this. So just one being true, I don't want to check anything else because I already know the result. So if you only have one symbol, that means there is no short circuit. So we evaluate everything. We're going to check this. If this is true, even knowing that the result is true, the computer is going to execute this. So there is a little bit of delay there, depend how costly that is. Because maybe some of those you are making a call or get some data from some other place. But in general, we always use a double. I never in my life had a case where it was recommended to use just one. Cool. Put a debug, play with this, maybe create a program that you can put some variables in and see what happens. I promise, this class, I confess, was a little bit like more complicated than it should be, but the next class, everything is going to be getting more and more clear because it'll be more like doing stuff. Well, thank you for participating. God bless you. See you next class. It'll be more like doing stuff. Well, thank you.